Well, welcome to another live, you all, where we are talking about all things living well as a lifestyle. I'm excited to be back before you. Those of you who are new here, I am Dr. Eve. I enjoy living life and I share what I do here on my channel. And so I'm excited to share with you all what I'm doing next. I know it's Super Bowl day. It is Super Bowl, but I am seriously in the planning mode of making sure that I use my time, steward my time well. And so while Super Bowl is happening, I am sorting out my seeds and preparing to set up my indoor green space to start my plants. I'm a little behind schedule, but that's okay because I'm not sure that I'll be able to plant a lot outside anyway because my beds are full. Like literally brassicas are everywhere. And I'm grateful because I was able to recover from the snow because I had coverings and so I still have a lot of green things in my garden. So I'm not going to per se start with brassicas or greens or things like that, except for lettuce because I can plant more lettuce and more herbs. But as far as the brassicas are concerned, I have an abundance of that that's still out there and thriving. And I know that once the weather lets up a little bit, they're just gonna start growing and growing and growing. And so um, they are at beautiful heights. And so it will be a while before I can actually get them out. They're just going to keep growing until the pest pressures them, right? But what if I just started some new beds, right? Maybe start some new beds, think about how I can be strategic about putting maybe some flowers between them or some other things in between them that will grow as well alongside them, that possibly won't be shaded out by them. Something that likes to grow in shade, actually, that I can grow in the bed with them would be another thought. So that is what I'm going to be doing today is sorting out my seeds. I have a beautiful seed book that I started last year. I started with this beautiful album that I use. This is literally a picture album, but I started it last year to start holding my seeds so that I would have a place to organize my seeds. But as I'm looking at it, I really would like to organize these by, um, oh, this is good. I was just saying I would like to organize them by alphabet, but I'm just looking right now. I actually can because this type of seed book that I'm using, actually I can take the pages out. So I can flip them around because I was really thinking an alpha order. Let me turn y'all around to all of it so y'all can see all of this, all of these seeds I'm starting. How are you? I'm doing well. Doing well, thank you. All of the seeds that I'm having to deal with. I'm sorting through all of them and sorting my flowers from my vegetables so that I can have a better plan, right? And so I am able, because I'm using this style of book, I'm actually able to take the pages out and put them in alphabetical order. That's what I was looking for, alphabetical order. And so that I can find them when I need them and I won't have to, be looking everywhere for them. So I'm looking to develop an easier system for my plants starting this year. So far I've sorted out some of the flowers. Here's one thing that I advise anybody who wants to get started is especially go and get some of the seeds that are already out there because they will go away really quickly. And these I purchased were from the Dollar Tree. And so these are non-GMOs. As a matter of fact, all of them, if they don't say non-GMO, then you should get non-GMO. It says 100% non-GMO. So, and plus these are and you want to be looking for things that actually grow in your area, in your zone. So like I'm in zone, I believe 7B 8A. So I'm like in between, but I'm in a very subtropic area. So I'm growing things that people didn't think they could grow. Like I have citrus trees, I have bananas, I have plums, peaches, all the things, grapes. I'm growing things that people didn't think they could grow in this area, but it's subtropic, so I have to be careful with things like lettuce because it does get cold here. They or because lettuce bolts really quick in hot weather. So you just have to know when to plant them, when what you can plant, the season to plant them in. So that it's not that they can't be planted. It's just like proper planning is needed to plant anything. So when I think about lettuce, like there you go. African daisy. Something I'm going to actually be planting out so that I can have flowers because I'm big on making sure I have flowers and things for my pollination. So I'm going to be planting a bunch of these. I didn't know I had this many of them. So I have like 4 packs of African daisies. So I'm going to be trying those as well. I have some bachelor button. These are 100% non-GMO. They are double mixed flowers, so they have and double colors, right? So I have the mixed colors, and I also have the blue boy bachelor button as well. So I'm going to be planting some of those. What I'm doing first, though, is mapping out my garden because I have so many things in my garden that come back every single year. So I have a perennial kind of cottage garden going on. And so, you want to always map out your garden before you decide where you're going to put and decide where you're going to put things, right? Because if you don't, you might put them in the wrong place. You might overcast. You might get more shadow. You might not have enough sun. This is why mapping your garden, studying the sun, and all those things are super important to your plan for planting a beautiful garden. My garden is a cottage garden, so by that I mean I have a permaculture, literally a place for that feeds the ecosystem, a place for bees. My next move is beekeeping, and so that I can make sure that my bees are taken care of, they have the food that they need, that they can keep coming back. So my garden is more of a permaculture. Like I've completely finished the back side of the urban homestead, and I will begin on the front side this year to plant out things for deer because they all up and down the road, right? So if they're going to be up and down, I don't want them eating the lilies. I'm going to plant things for them to eat, okay? Because they will eat all my lilies up. Last year they sucked every lily bloom off my blooms. I walked out one day. I woke up one day, had a beautiful display of beautiful tiger lilies, and the next day I came out, every bloom on the lilies were gone, like as if they just sucked them off. And I was like that was that. I thought somebody literally came through and took some clippers and cut them off, but no, it was the deer, because I also noticed that there were other plants that deers love that were also damaged. So I knew that it was the deer who had done that. Another plant that I'm going to be looking at planting is the California poppy. Also, this is a green you want to be paying attention to, mapping out when to plant. Like you want to be looking at your days to germination, the height that they get, the days to maturity. All those things are on the back of your packet. So you want to pay very close attention to the instructions on the back of your package, because it will help you to build a chart. I talked about this last year about the importance of building a digital chart, because the digital chart will help you to know when to plant, and you know to what height it grows. All of the instructions is right, the minimal instructions are right here. And so if you could first, like I'm putting all these together, flowers, if I could first go to my database and say, okay, here's the information for my California poppies, They are days to germination 5 to 14, depth to sow a quarter of an inch, speed spacing 6 to 8. I don't pay too much attention to that because I am not grow. It's not being grown on a farm, so I don't pay a lot of attention to that. Hello. Another thing is they grow to 5 feet high, 5 feet tall. So if they grow that tall, then I don't want to put them in a place that they could possibly, shade out another plant because that's pretty tall, 4 to 5 feet. This is the California poppy, and they get that tall. So this may be really good around borders at the back of the border because it gets so tall. So you also so you also want to be thinking about that. What have you learned? You learned something new? Hello, Michelle. So this is the California poppy, and it also days to maturity is 70 to 90 days. Now, with all of that information, looking on the back of this packet, with all of that information that you have right there, you can get a good idea of when to plant because on your green packet, on the back of your packet, it also tells you when to plant. So, depending on where and what zone you're in, it tells you when to plant. So, for me, I'm in the green zone. No, let me put my glasses on because I don't know. I can't hardly see that. Turn this light on. Okay, some extra light. So I'm in the green zone. Let me put my glasses on because this I'm 63, baby. I need some of my glasses, okay? I'm auntie need glasses. Okay, so on the back of this package, I'm actually in the blue zone for this. So this is an April through June plant, right? Outdoor planting date. So another thing to note is that this is outdoor planting dates. So if you want to grow them sooner, you can grow them indoors. So if that's the outdoor planting dates, then you might want to start them inside earlier. If you can, or if that's something you have space for. I have germination stations in the house, around the house, in the pantry, in the green room, all those things. Okay. So you want to be looking at again, the back of your packet. Kind of, make a little chart. Make a little chart. If this is something you want to grow, make a chart. That's outdoor seeds. I love that. I'm glad I paid attention to that because another thing is, what did I say? Oh, I was talking about the importance of paying attention to the back of the package. Um, It says here that this is also outdoor planning. So the number one thing is outdoor. What type of planting? When do you plant outside? It says here outdoor planting. For me, I'm in the blue zone, so I'm going to pay attention to that. Okay, that blue zone for me for this particular plant. Sometimes it's green, sometimes it's yellow, sometimes it's orange, depending on the plant. Then another thing you want to pay attention to is the days to germination. Now, if it takes 6 to 14 days to germinate, right? Then you want to, if it says plant outside in the blue zone in April, it takes 5. So your germination time, if you plant inside, you're going to plant them. You can start them inside. You can start them inside. And if you can plant April through June, then start in March. If you want to start them indoors in March, just know that it's 6 to 14 days till germinations. They will get, what does that say? Days to sow. Oh, how to sow, depth to sow. So I'm not sure if this is a good plant. If you have to plant it outside or can you plant it indoors? I'm gonna try both. Um, then it says how speed, spacing. I don't care about spacing because um, I'm not growing like a farmer per se massively. I am an urban homesteader, so I'm growing according to what works in my homestead. Then the other thing is the 4 to 5 feet. Now that's 4 to 5 feet. So in the plan of my garden, I am not going to plant these in the middle anywhere. I'm going to plant these at the back border because they get tall. And because they get tall, they will shadow over other things. So you want to pay attention to that. Okay. Let's give an example of another one. This is cosmos. This year I will be planting cosmos, and there's several varieties. I have these yellow, and I have these sensation mix and the bright lights. Bright lights and sensation mix. Okay, because I am really into flowers as well. Like I said, I have a cottage garden. I have, my garden is completely loaded with dark green vegetables right now in every single bed, and I've got 10 new trees as a perennial garden because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't always, continuing to plant the same things over and over again. I want to be able spring to come in and that my garden will just burst with springness, right? Without me having to plant vegetables, my garden will automatically just boom with food, right? Okay, good, 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 good. So the cosmos, let's look at the cosmos. And the reason why you want to plant flowers is because you need the pollinators. If you're planting vegetables, you need the pollinators to grow in the garden, okay? So again, this one is April. This one is also in the blue zone, right? See, in the blue zone, April through June. That's my area, April through June, okay? And it says outdoor planting dates, April through June. All right, now that I know that, the next thing I want to look at is days to germination, 8 to 10. So I can plant these in March, and it will take 8 to 10 days. So mid-March, or maybe even the beginning of March. I don't want to plant them too soon because they won't be ready to go outside. So you have to organize your timing around the days to germination. They will not be ready to go outside if I plant them any sooner than the middle than the maybe the I have to start at maybe the beginning of March. So this will be a March planting plants. It will not be something I do today. It will be something I do or anything today because I'm organizing and I'm concentrating on what and when to plant. Also, they get 15 to 18 inches tall, right? So that is what, a foot and a half. So you can also build that when you're building out your garden, you want to put the inches along your borders, along your fence lines, in your beds, because I am learning that because I was at one time just throwing seeds like, and then I really had to think about it because some things would get shaded out or some things wouldn't get any sun, right? So it was really important that I make sense of this, right? Because in my perennial garden, it's already planted. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna see how things go this year, but I'm sure there's gonna be something that's too tall in the middle of the bed, right? So you want to pay careful attention to that. The days to maturity is 45 to 60, and the plant depth, again, if you are sowing indoors, a quarter of an inch. So it's usually a little more than the soil. Some seeds you just lay on top, and you just come through and dust it with soil so that it's not planted too deep. So we will go over that as I'm planting, but this will not be planted until March, or started until March, the beginning of March. So those are some of the things, but primarily the first thing you should do, and the first thing you should do. Now, I'm a sketcher, so I sketch things out. I love to do art, paint in the garden as well. I am working on some paintings. This is one that I did. So this is a painting because I love art. I also do art in my garden as well. I absolutely love it. But this is one, so I'm going to sketch it in my sketchbook. And this was one something I found in my garden last year, which was a spider that I decided to draw. It was on the basil plant. So I decided to draw what I saw in the garden, right? But I am going to start something today because it's really important that we map out the garden. So I'm going to map it from I'm going to map it from what I can visually know about my garden so that I can begin to put in place all the things that I told you, like the quarter inches, where things like this could go. And does it have to be sowed in direct sun? So that's another thing to think about. Does it need a lot of sun? It says so. Oh, it says, okay, that's here's some more information. So it does say start indoors 4 weeks before the last frost. Prior to planting, cultivate soil to a depth of 1 inch to 2 inches and rake to remove debris. So we do know that like I said, 4 weeks, right? I said March 1st, because it grows in April. You can't put it out till April. So that made sense, right? Um, After danger of frost, sow outdoors. So I could wait until after my frost and sow them outdoors. But I'm like really into like, okay, I know what I'm planting here. I don't want seeds popping up and I don't know what's over there because I will step on some stuff in a minute and it might never germinate. But if I put them out as plants, then it's less likely that I will aggravate the sowing area because I'm going to put down labels, to make sure that I know that there are plants there, right? Even under like fruit trees, because there's plenty of space to still, even with your fruit trees, there's plenty of space to grow flowers. But you have to grow things that don't mind shade. So that is why it's so important that you draft, begin to draft, take a piece of sketch paper and begin to draft your garden out, right? So I'm going to start by drawing a square here and just planning out my homestead, right? All right, so so I know where things are. And I will, in just a minute, I will put the camera on this so you can see as I draw, okay? This is a fence line. So we can't do that. All right. So here's what I have. And I'm going to let you all see it so you can watch. I don't know if you'll be able to see it from there, but let's see. Okay. Can you see that now? Maybe you can. Okay. Let's see. All right. I think it's going to need to be up some. Can you see that now? Okay, yeah, almost. So I can't see. Maybe I'll turn on my other camera so I can see what you see. All right, so there's my drafting station, and I'm about to draft out my garden. Let's see what you see. I'm going to join you on my other camera so I can see. Let's see. View live. Okay, there we go. All right. So somebody said it's probably planted inside. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for still being here, Michelle. I appreciate you. Okay. So this is my draft station, and I am. Let me see here. Let's see. Thank you. Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate you. It's probably planted inside. Okay, so this is my draft. I don't know if y'all can see that from there. Can you see it from there? It seems a little delayed over here. Okay, skip to live. Okay. All right, so you can see it. All right, so there. Let me see. Thanks, Michelle, for subscribing. Okay, so here we are. It seems a little delayed, but so over here is my chicken coop. So I'm just going to put it and over here so I know, and this is their playground here. All right, playground. And then there's this area right here that I want to um, build out for rabbits. So I want to build that out for rabbits and maybe a station for to grow. Um, I'm gonna grow um, crops just for my animals. Okay. All right. So over here in this play area, I, let me see if I can find. I have a. I have. Let's see. So I have a ruler, but I can't get to it right this second. So this is another border right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that border in. And this area right here is where lemongrass was last year, but I'm not sure. But I have a whole bed on this side. I was thinking about putting some more vegetables here or more trees here, something that didn't need a whole lot of sun, um, that I could just put a bunch, right? Because that's a nice growing area right there. So back here, we're just going to draw this out, draw these borders out so that we know what we have. So here, this is another border, and there is um, a barn here. Okay, that's a barn. All right, let's draw this out. So along this side, you're gonna map your whole garden out because you want to be able to know what you got. Okay. All right. So in this area is all free space, right? It's free space, but this is also concrete. This is concrete. All right. This is a beautiful area right here. And beyond there, there's a grapevine here. There's a great grapevine or banana. That's my banana and something else I'm going to be growing out in that area. Um, and in this area is my arbor. This is all my arbor here. This is my arbor, grape arbor. All right, so all of this area is concrete. All right, all of this, right, is concrete. But here is an opening. This is an opening archway right here. So we're going to map out the whole thing. Then there is So we can plant here. We don't know what, but we can plant up to, because I planted those lemongrass last year, so I can plant a bunch of trees here. Trees that don't have to be deep root. Um, but if they're trees you want them to be deep, that's a nice area right there. Because believe it or not, this area right up here, there's a big oak tree, big pine tree. So this tells me that this is a very strong area to um put trees. Okay. So this area is also going to be dedicated to trees. This is because it's concrete, but I'm going to put trees here, potted trees. So this is going to be my potted tree zone. Potted trees, right? And I will put as many out there as I want to put out there. I'll also do the same to this area. Now, this area right here is occupied, so I won't put anything here. But along here, all of this can be occupied. These are, okay, so let's go back because this is how it's already planted out. So that's water, and that's water. And this is an aerial view, which you should do to your garden space. You should have an aerial view because you want to know where and how to place things right in your garden. This is a greenhouse area. So it's already taken up. So this is the greenhouse. All right. You want to plant so you can know where, or if you need to shift something, right? Sometimes we just need to move some things, see where we can place things. I've built a lot of things in my cottage garden. So, all right, so that's a greenhouse. But this area is going to be potted tree zone. This is going to be potted trees. But for right now, this is a workstation. So along here is a workstation, right? This is a workstation that's behind the greenhouse. All right. So here, um, all right, here is a pathway. This is the, this is a patio garden. This is a patio garden. And patio garden. And this is where my green stalks are. Green stalks. And um, these are more outdoor greenhouses. They're on both sides, okay? Outdoor greenhouses. They look like I wish I could show you, but I can't really because, well, maybe I could take a picture. No, I can't really. So outdoor greenhouses, I'll have to show you a picture later. Outdoor greenhouses here. And then this is a deck. And it has a kitchen garden. So this is a kitchen garden. So you could decide what this looks like for you, right? So you can make a lot of gardens and you just get to decide what they are. So this is a deck, and of course this is the house. But here And this area is also a pantry. So, and all right. So this area is designated. You can't do anything with this except grow things in there. You can grow things in there, okay? All right. So here is the banana. This is grapes. This is the grape arbor, and they all run together. So this is a small garden here. All right. That's a bed. Then I have, this is a archway. Is that the banana? Yeah, that's the banana. Okay, so these are together. And this is an archway here. So this is a runway, and this is a runway, but it has beds here. So there are two beds here. Oh no, hold on. Okay, so this is what a blueprint looks like when you're drafting. It gives you an idea to understand your garden and what you have there. So I have in this main garden, there's two more beds here, one here and one here. And this is an archway, right? But there in the archway, there's here a now there is a cherry tree here because this is the orchard. There's a pear here. All right. There's blueberries here. This is a blueberry bed. All right. There's grapes running all along here, or grapes along this path. This is the grape arbor that leads from this archway here. So I'm putting, when I come here, I'm swinging out and putting a little, like a door. The door signifies a pathway. That's how me and my dad used to do blueprints when we were building the houses that he was building. When we would do the real estate blueprint, we would draft. I would help him draft, but he would show me how to draft them. And this is actually signifies that there's a doorway or an entryway here. Okay. So this also, this pathway right here merges. So these two, it comes here, but it merges. So you can't get behind there. It kind of is just a fence line. So there's a fence line here, and this is all grapes over here. So I love that. I put that in this year. This is the center bed. That's the greenhouse. This is over here. Right here is the fire. This is the entryway to the orchard. Okay. And so here is also a fire pit. All right. So that's the fire pit. Let's just put some flames. All right. And so you can draft your space, an idea of what you want your space to look like as well. This is, ooh, this garden right here. So that's a bed, and that's the orchard over here. This is the orchard. And here there are figs and blackberries. And here there is another bed right here. And another bed right here. And there's a cherry tree here. And there is going to be another pear tree here. There's also a peach tree here. Now, this little pathway right here, y'all, this is a deck that I built. So this is a deck, and yeah, this is a deck that I built in the center of the garden. And it allows me to be able to plant on the deck, around the deck, all of that good stuff, right? In this area, this is my mobile garden. So here's another entryway here, right? And it connects here to the greenhouse. This is a pathway. And is this huge area right here is a beautiful sitting area. Let me make this a little smaller because it's not that big. These actually meet. That's a spring garden. That's the deck. And this is probably yeah. So this is yeah, that's right. So this garden right here is another beautiful garden. And it is full of mobile plants. Like, so here, this is a corner. This is a peach tree here. All right. And this right here near the deck. But this is a part of the patio garden. So all of this, let me just move this. All of this is the patio garden. Okay. And here is a pollinator garden. It's a beautiful garden, y'all. It really is beautiful. So you have a pollinator garden. That's on the outside of the patio garden. But also, right here is another pathway. So let me just slimline this a little bit. It's this little pathway right here where I can also put bag gardens, right? So this is a slim pollinator garden. Pollinator garden. So this is where a lot of flowers go. All right. And alongside here is I usually put bags. The most important thing when you're thinking about planning out your garden is you want to make sure that you are leaving space for you to function, that you have a functional garden, right? Because if you can't get up and down these pathways, then you're going to have a problem. And I just want you to know that I can get up and down all these pathways. I strategically plan them out. I can get through this fence with a wheelbarrow. I can get through this here patio garden, right through this entrance. I can get through here with a, okay, let me put this right here because this is a doorway. This is the entryway. Remember we said we're putting entryways here. So this is an entryway. So wherever there's an entryway, I can get through there with my wheelbarrow. So let me shorten this up a little bit because this leads all the way to the back side of the garden, which this expands far beyond this line. That's just in order to get it. I'm just making it a little smaller. Okay. All right. So this is all a pathway. You have to build in the pathways so that you can get that wheelbarrow down that area. You don't want to make it such that you can't. And let me just shape this up a little bit more. We're going to put this right here and flush with this line because this all actually, this is an entire perennial garden over here. All right, so this is a whole pathway that leads out into the back garden. Okay, this is this whole strip. That's it's beautiful. There are blackberries. All right. Then when you go down further, that's two beds. Then there's another bed on this side. All right. And then that's on the side of the deck. Actually, there's two beds right there. So there's two beds right there. Two smaller beds here. Right? Yep. Two smaller beds there. And then over here, there's a pollinator garden. There's another bed here. All right. So then I put in this area. This is a walkway. So this is another entryway. You want to make sure that you have what you need. This is another bed right here. All right. And then I put, this is a pathway. So this is a pathway right here. And this is a, wait a minute, is that a bed? Is a bed? Yep, this is a bed over here. So I can't show you the back side of the yard. I'm just showing you my planting area. Okay. I'm just showing you my planting area. Oh wait, that's inside the orchard. So, okay, hold on. This bed is inside the orchard right here. So there's another bed here in this orchard. And this is an entryway. Remember I said we have entryways, right? And so that's looking good. And let's see, what else do we have? We have a bed here. So this is a bed here. Now, I wrapped my orchard around so that I could, so I put right here in this, that leads to, this is all another whole entryway. This is a whole nother path. And this is another entryway. Because I wanted to make sure I can walk down all of my areas, right? And so in this back garden, back here, this is all plants. So these are plants. These are blackberries. Oh no, that's the pollinator garden. No, it's over here actually. This is blackberries. Blackberries. These are greens, greens. I put a little shrub here. I think I put a shrub, or the shrub is here. It's next to the deck. So I put a shrub there. I think this is blackberries here and here. Okay, so I'm thinking that this pollinator garden that I have here, no, this is comfrey. That's comfrey. And that's comfrey. I will put down here too. I think it's also helpful to put a key in a key somewhere, and maybe the key can be, I don't know, you can make a key. This is concrete, so I can make a key here that tells me what everything is. Like this is entryway, these are shrubs, or whatever. I could put a berry. Um, I could put grapes, like a triangle for grapes, with a little thing. So it's good you can make a key as well. When you have space and you want to visualize it, this is the way you can do it. Now on this entry, on this side here, where I am, let's see, what are you looking at? Let's make sure you're looking at the same thing. Over here, these are trees. So there are also beds over here. So there's a couple of beds here. Yeah, I am really maximizing my space out here. So these are beds. That's one bed, and this is another bed. And this is a deck over here. So when you get down to the back of the garden, there's a deck right here. I put in another deck because I like sitting areas. I put in another deck right there with furniture. So it's a sitting garden. So this is a sitting garden. All right. I had a really good design in mind. And okay, yep. So that's the corridor. Actually, the sitting garden goes in some because it does not, yeah, it kind of sits out a little bit in the pathway. But we will bring that down a little bit. So the sitting garden, because this goes to the back. There's a big old tree here. But this is a garden, a sitting garden right here. And it meets that entryway. And this is beautiful back here. There's a tree over top of that sitting area. And I have planters on each side. This one has figs in it. And this one has greenery, like evergreens. All right. So, and then back here, okay, so I not put in some trees. I put in apples along here. So I put apple here, and there's blueberries back here, blueberry patch, and another apple here. I got some mulberries in there too. Mulberries. And then what I did was I planted some plums. And I planted one back here. So she full, y'all. And this, like I said, is the kitchen garden, which is where the deck is. And all of this is perennial. All of this is flowers. This is the perennial garden. So when you are planning, you know your space. Think about what you want and where you can put things because it really does help. It really does help when you have a plan, okay? Now, that might be kind of, I'm going to turn this back around to me because it might be kind of, let's see. All right, let me see if I can turn it around. All right, so I'm going to turn it back around to me and lift this up a little bit. And then I will bring it back so you can see it, okay? I'm trying to maneuver this podium. Sorry. Give me a second, y'all. I'm trying to maneuver this podium. Get this podium back in place. Hey.
Hey, what's for dinner?
It's Super Bowl. It's snacks tonight.
Okay.
Um, so let's see. All right. So now, now, now that I put it together, maybe you can see it better here because I know that was kind of hard. But this is the plan. And so now I got to think about where my flowers are going to go because these beds, a lot of these beds are already full, like I was saying. So that's what I'm going to be working on. I will come back a little later and share with you all a little bit more after I organize these seeds. And that's the goal, organize the seeds so that I can begin to know when I'm going to plant certain things. So many people have already started planting and growing, but a lot of those are for spring gardens, and my spring garden is already in the ground. And to God be the glory. I grow largely green leafy vegetables. I had an incident with hypertensive event, and I grow to eat my own food. I grow to care for me. I grow to take care of my family, and to make sure that we're eating the food that we're growing, that we're being resourceful, and that we're staying as far away from the market as we can. Can we completely do that? Not yet. I think the body can adjust though. If we learn how to eat sustainably, then we can, in fact, live sustainably. But that takes a lot of work and a lot of commitment. And so I encourage you to, you know, think about what it is that you like to eat. Go ahead and get those seeds because seeds will go and they will go quickly, and so that you can get started because the early bird is going to catch the worm, and you will not have access to the seeds if they're not available. So you want to make sure that you're grabbing those seeds, okay? I'm Dr. Eve, everybody. I hope that you found something that you could learn from this video. Again, we here on this channel are living understand that living well is in fact a lifestyle. It's something that we do every day, not something we do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but we do it every day, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. That it requires thoughtful planning so that we have what we need, our families have what we need. So until next time, I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye for now.